Okay, let's talk about the profiles and permission sets today. Okay, let's come to profiles. So you generally you might get some questions regarding this. What is the difference between roles and profiles and permission sets? So coming to profiles, right? So these have a lot of settings coming to application access, tab access, object access, field level security, everything. That will be configured in the profile level. So I would like to show the options to you now. So let's open any. So any super administrator. This is a cloned. Actually, it won't be there in the system. I cloned from system administrator, and I made a super administrator. Let's click on this. Okay. So yesterday we have seen the application access in this. We have seen the connected application access in this. We remove the connected applications from this list. This profile users. So each and every user is assigned to a profile. So this profile users who are assigned to this profile will don't have access to this application which I have removed from this. If I click on edit, so these are all the applications I gave access to this super administrator profile. Means it automatically applies to the users as well. Okay. So if I remove any access, for suppose if I remove Salesforce 1 for iOS, it's iPad application. If I remove these guys, all the people belongs to this particular profile cannot access this particular application. So after clicking on save, they can't access. Okay. So by default, all these applications will be on the right side. When I'm creating a new profile, basic profile users, I can move it to the right side to give some special access of all these applications. WorkBench is the online tool where you can access. If for suppose workbench.developer.force.com, this is the online tool to query SQL records, to test the REST APIs, to check the responses, to check the data, everything. Okay, I'll just click on OK, and I click on login to Salesforce. So now I will explain about this workbench a little bit, what all we can do. Okay, and in future I will explain more. So for suppose I can, for suppose you want to query something, I can just go to SQL query. I can select a new object, and I click on select. So this is the online cloud tool again, which will talk to your organization. As I already logged in here, so it's not asking any username and password for me. But if you're trying to access Workbench directly, it will ask the username and password. After that, it asks whether it's a sandbox or production, everything. Later on, it will show this particular window. And now, I clicked on SQL query and I came to the account object. And here are the fields in the account object. Now I can query. See, I can query these particular fields from account. Click on query. So this is useful for querying the data in the Salesforce system. These are all the accounts are available in our Salesforce organization. So this application is really useful for the developers who are trying to test the applications, who are trying to test the data. And so you can select a number of things. You can put even where loop also. Where billing city equal to in single quotes, let's do Los Angeles. If you have any error, it will show that here directly. So click on query. There is no error. So now I have all the cities which are having Los Angeles. There are 51 records. For suppose all the cities are equal to Texas. Okay. Just I'm clicking on query. There won't be any records in the system. See, there is no record returned. This is a simple query tool from basic query tool. So this tool is helpful to query automatically from here also. I can put down the sort order by billing city, E to Z. Now first click on query. Now I get all the records in the order of ascending order of billing city. See, 0, all the blank values. After that, all the values with Los Angeles. L comes before S. San Francisco. That's it. So here I kept the null values first. If I keep null values lost, click on query. I get all the null values in the lost rows. Okay, lost rows. Okay, this is some simple SQL query. You can query on any custom object as well. These are all standard objects. The differentiation between the standard objects and custom objects is __C at the end. Okay, you don't see that option for the standard objects. These are all standard objects. If you come down, you see a lot of standard objects here also, because Salesforce have already applications like Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud, everything, right? They have given a lot of standard objects. Okay, if you want to use that, you can directly use it. So if you don't have any __C means that's a standard object. If you have __, it's a custom object created by you. Okay, let's move on to other option. For suppose I want to switch to contacts, I can click on simply C to go to contacts. CON. Yeah, this is a contact object, and it automatically refreshes the window, and I can select all the fields. Click on query. I can put some filters also. Here is the filters option, where condition, and same way. So I can even this is the data. You can see the data like this. You have all the data available here. So I came here to show you the profile access, but I just explained you about the workbench tool. And coming down to properties. For suppose if you want to know the properties, what all the fields are available in a standard object or custom object, you can just click on standard and custom objects. I'm selecting object. I selected contact object. I want to know what all the attributes are there. Click on this. These are all the attributes of this contact object. So here is the options. What all this particular user can do with this object, whether this is the searchable, triggerable, undeletable, deletable. These are all the options. You don't see these options in the front end. This is options available in the back end tool. So all this data is available for each and every object. You see this data, whether the object is creatable or not. If this is equal to false, you cannot create the record in the system. Okay, so these settings are really important, but you don't have any access to this in the front end. Child relationships with other objects. These are all the object relationships with this contact object. You can click on any of this. You will get detailed information, whether cascade delete is thing or not. What is cascade delete? So if I'm deleting the parent record, whether I'm deleting the child records or not, that can be done by cascade delete. Okay. So same way, there are a lot of fields in the contact object. So I can click on these fields to see the properties of the fields available in this. So each and every box is a field. For suppose if I'm clicking on bar date, it will show the properties of this field. What data type is this? This is the date type is date. Whether this is unique or not. It can be false, means you can have unique values also in this, and case sensitive. Everything is option is there. Each and every field have a property. All these properties are there in this. You can see this. Okay. Same way, you can have the record types. For suppose if you have implemented record types on particular object, you see the record types here. If you don't have anything, there is only one that is called master. That is this. Okay. If you have record types, let's click on account object which have record types. Let's go to account object, which is the first object. Okay. Now you see the record types of 5. See, record type 5 record types. Master, small, personal, medium, big account. Okay. So clicking on big account, you see the properties of this particular record type and record type ID. Okay. That's information. And later on, I just want to talk about metadata types in the system. Give me a second. Yeah. So that's it. And metadata. Metadata components and types and components. So for suppose if I'm selecting any Apex page, I can query this page is here. Due to the list of all pages, I can open any page. So this is the page. Who created this particular page? So what is metadata? Data over data. So for suppose your each and every class or object is defined in XML format. I show you how it will look like in the Eclipse. Okay. So in the future classes, right? So each and every data you are creating, it's in the XML format. For suppose if you are creating a field, there is a field tag. Inside the field tag, it will show the type field, which will show the property of the type of the field. Everything I will show that to you. So that's called metadata. In this metadata components, you can see, for suppose if I'm clicking on custom object, okay. So there are a lot of components here, custom components. Clicking on addresses. So here is the address object. I'm clicking on ID, ID of this record. Okay. Object ID is this. It's unknown. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Click on next single thing. So all these components can be downloadable to with the Eclipse. So let's click on this. I want to show you now only. For suppose if I'm opening any application, so I'm not expanding the source. So there's a simple option called objects. I want to show you how each and every field look like in the system. Okay. Clicking on open. So you have seen the account object in the front end, how it looks like. There are some fields in the object. If you come back here, see, this is all some XML data. For suppose we have a pick list value, so I'll show how it looks like. See, this is billing country. This is field starting from here. Billing country, external ID equal to false, means this is not external ID. Label, what is the label? Billing country 1 is the label. This is the API value, field name stored in the backend, and the pick list. This is the values. So if you come here, each and every value is defined in this format. Pick list value, values, full name, and default value. If it is true, means this is the default value in that particular object. So if you see here, all this country value, each and every country should have this definition. For each and every country, you have to add this many lines of code to add this pick list value inside the object. This is the object properties. It's called metadata. Okay. Data of objects is called data over data. Okay. Called metadata. So each and every field should have. So one pick list value is around 400 lines, because there are around 100 countries. Each and every country should be defined in 4 lines. Okay. And if there are 100 countries, you should write 400 lines of code and some basic properties of the field. Let's talk about some simple data field, number field, okay, a text field. So this is a text field with 10 lines of code description. This is the field name. This is the field label. This is the field length. Field required or not, false. If it is true, that's a required field. If it is false, it's not required. Track field history is an option. When you are creating a field, it's an option there. If I click on false, it's not trackable. If it's true, it's trackable. And type, it's text, number, pick list, all these options will be seen here. And unique value false. Okay, this is a simple metadata. Okay, that's what I'm showing. I'll come back to the system. And if you come here to the info, this is the metadata types. You can download all the components. What all you can download here? See, this is Eclipse. I add a Force.com plugin. This is the Force.com plugin. I can now write programs from this Eclipse. This is the MSM project, means this is a Salesforce organization which I linked here. For downloading a project to your Eclipse, you have to provide username, password, security token, which is 25-digit code. Okay, I think I have already explained you how to reset it. It's in your personal settings. Okay, that code is required here, so you can download all these options. So you see all these options there also, right? See, objects. When I expand objects, you see all the objects here, both standard and as well as custom. So if you click on custom, you see the properties of the custom object. See, account having you don't having underscore C, but CDA under you having underscore C. Okay. Same way you have reports, dashboards, pages, as controls, sites, tabs, triggers. Everything will be here downloaded into your Eclipse. Whatever you want, you can download. Okay. So in these settings, if I am not giving access to the Force.com ID, then they cannot download or use Force.com ID. They can download, but they cannot access the data. They cannot download the project of the current organization system. Okay, these settings. So Workbench is having a lot more settings. You can search for SOQL query, SOSL, streaming API, streaming push topics, okay, and data insert and update operations. Or suppose, unfortunately, you have deleted the record in the front end, which you cannot have permissions to add in the front end. You can come here in the back end. This is the back end where you can click on insert, and you can insert a record from here directly by clicking on insert. It will ask for which object, and I can the object here. So can you be on hold for a minute? Hey, hi. Yeah. So I will be back. Yeah. So let's. So this is for inserting a record into the database, Salesforce database. I'm clicking on any account object. So single record or from a file. So I click on this, I can choose some file, Excel file, and I can upload some file. And I click on next. So there is a mapping here. As I don't have attached any file, so it's asking for error. But I can click on single record. Click on next. So here is the values. It's a single record, right? So I can put down some values here, and I can say click on confirm. Or else I can give as account number, account source, web, revenue, billing city, SF, the US, latitude, postal code, name is required. That's called sample from WorkBench. Click on submit type. I will click on submit. If I have any error, I can work on it, because there is a validation rule saying please enter phone number at top level. Enter phone number. Okay. With the phone number field name is there. WorkBench. Number of IDs. There's a phone number field. Yeah, it's a phone number field. Number of employees. Click on number. This also required. Maybe it will require for number of contacts. Okay. I'm clicking on save now. Insert. Click on insert. I'm thinking account number should be 7 digit, not more than that. Okay. So I have to go. This is the validation rules. You might be knowing this. Okay. Yeah. So this is how you can insert the record. This is the validation rules which you generally get the same errors while you are trying to enter from the front end as well. Because the account number is some digits only. If I am entering more than that, it's showing some error. Okay. Let's work on it later. And there's option to choose. You can load unlimited number of records also, around 500,000, 10,000 records from here by choosing a file. Okay. By choosing a spreadsheet or CSV file, and you can do all these operations. This is online data loader type of options. Migration. You can deploy the things from one system to other system, from this system to other system. You can even retrieve data components from the organization. Okay. Click on retrieve. You can choose a package. So okay. Unpackaged manifest means you generally keep all the components in this particular choose file, so that it will retrieve all the data to your local machine. Okay. And utilities. So this REST explorer is useful for working on REST integration scenarios. For suppose you have done some REST, you have done some class which helps in REST integrations. You mapped some URL for that. You want to test that. You can test here in the REST explorer. By clicking on it, you will test all the REST scenarios what you have done, whether the response is coming perfectly or not, everything like this. Okay. And Apex execute anonymous is running some anonymous blocks. For suppose if you want to insert some test data around 500 account records, I can add a simple script Apex script to create records automatically. So that can be done in execute anonymous blocks. So you can even see this particular thing in the Salesforce developer console as well as Eclipse also. Okay, and password management, that's all something, bulk API job status, and metadata API process status. If you are doing any bulk operations, there will be bad job assigned to this. That job will be showing the status, whether it's in process, everything like this. Okay, new metadata API. For suppose if you are doing migrations or if you are testing, doing deployments, the status will be available here in metadata API process status. For suppose if you are saving some metadata components from Eclipse, there will be some status, whether it's in progress or validating. All this stuff will be shown here. Okay. So let's go back to the profile settings, object settings. You have already gone through this in the previous class. Each and every object, CRUD access, create, read, write, delete access, and tab access, and the total number of fields are here. If you want to control the field level security by clicking on the account or any, this is the links actually, you can click on that, you will go to the particular account. You can control the field level security from there, whether the visible access or whether the read-only access, everything. So this is the field level permissions, read or edit. If you are clicking only read, means it's only visible, but you cannot enter the data. If it is read and edit, you can write even data also. Okay. And these are the options. Record type access for this profile users. Means this profile user can only see these 3 record types. That is big account, medium account, personal account. He cannot see the small account because I have enabled only these options. And the tab is default on. There are 3 types of settings for div tabs. That is default on, default off, and tab hidden. Default on means it will show on these tabs. Default off means it won't show here. If you click on plus sign, you will see the tabs, all tabs. Okay. If you put default, hidden, it won't show even if you are clicking plus sign. It's totally hidden from the user, for this particular user. Okay. And coming to the systems app permissions. So generally, there are a lot of applications given by Salesforce, call center, sales, marketing, all this stuff. These are general permissions for the application users. For suppose you have a call center user, he can give special permissions to the team, whether they can manage solutions, whether they can manage call centers, whether they can manage cases like this. This is the call center options. This is the content options. Salesforce content is separate settings to upload. If you have these permissions, you can upload content, you can create libraries, you can upload, you can share permissions, you can share content using permissions, you can even share the, you can even modify the properties, okay, you can manage Salesforce content as well. So this is the settings for the Salesforce content application. You can see this application here. By clicking on this, you have the Salesforce content. This is the application. And knowledge management. This belongs to the service module only. So you generally create FAQs, knowledge. For suppose, if your customer is asking for some iPad installation issue, so your company is like Apple. So you generally sell laptops, iPads, everything. For suppose each and every time you're getting issues from the customer saying iPad upgrade issue. So if what you do is your support team will create some document which can be reusable for a lot of issues coming on the direction. For suppose if a lot of people are asking for the same issue, you can create some simple PDF or a simple document FAQ, and you can do that. That can be manageable in the knowledge management. So these permissions are for knowledge managing users. Okay. And partner relationship management. So this option is for partner management, where you can manage partner profiles, external users, everything. This is the sales applications, whether you can manage contracts, orders, upload leads, manage leads, import leads, everything. Okay, these permissions. So as I am the super administrator, I have all the options checked. But suppose if you are the sales user, I don't want to give all these permissions. I just want to give only these permissions, only the sales app permissions. For suppose if you are the cost center user, I only provide these options. Okay, and that can be done according to his role, according to his job or daily job actions. For suppose he is a HR user, I don't want to provide any of this. I will have a custom special access, object access. I will go to the object access here, and on the HR objects like payrolls, leave objects, on that objects I give all permissions, view all permissions, and field all security of all, view all and modify all permissions. Okay, this view all and modify all permissions will be only available to the administrators or special higher level people, because if I am giving view all permission, you have the, even though the data is private, you can see all the data. If it is modify all also, even though if the data is not available to you, you can view as well as you can even modify the data also. You can even modify any type of data. For suppose HR people want to modify all people, employee information like their salaries, performance, everything. That's the reason I want to give this type of permissions for the HR related objects for HR people, finance related objects for finance people, or for sales related objects for sales people. Okay. Let's move on to other permissions, system permissions. After app permissions, there is Apex class access. Again, this is really important. Whenever you have developers and Apex classes and pages, yeah, for suppose if you want to view the access of these pages and classes to this profile, if they want to use this, you have to provide access here. This is like the same way, all the available classes are on the right side. On the left side, you have to move it to the right side to give access. Click on edit. Okay. So these are all the classes available in the system. These are all the classes which are available for this user. He can use these classes. He can work on these components. Okay. I can even remove so that he cannot use this class from now. If I remove this, he do have all access of all the classes and pages, because I see the system admin. For suppose we have developed 6 components. Out of it, one is HR component. You provide that HR component to the HR profile users. You provide the sales component to the sales profile users only. Okay, but most probably no one cares. People generally add all the classes to all the profiles. Okay, I'm getting. Okay, and let's move on to the other thing. The same way there is for pages also. For pages also, you can have the available pages available in the system and enable pages. So let's click on give page access, and it's opening here. So these are all available pages in the system. Okay, and so if you see, this is the page coming from the Evernote application. These are the manager applications, so that you can see the name here, right? Because this is installed package. These are all blank because we internally developed these pages. And these all pages are coming from outside. So if you want to practice on Apex and VF examples, we have a lot of examples inside the system. You can try opening each and every page. You can just look into the things, how it works. So that's a really good practice. Okay, I show you how to start working on it by end of this class. And so data category access, because I have not created any data categories currently, but you generally get data categories to view access. Same way you can move on to the right side, because there is no access, it's not providing me. Okay. Same way like VFA, so you provide data category access to this profile users as well. Custom permissions. So these are some general custom permissions, which I think it's not there. So you might get some custom permissions from the Apex in the applications that you might have created yourself. So that custom permissions are something like you can change the options and you can use it accordingly. If you don't have custom settings, you cannot edit it. If you have custom settings, you can edit it. So if I'm giving the option here, if I'm enabling the custom settings here, if I click and if I'm setting some things here, these guys can set some custom setting according to his needs. If you don't have access to that, you cannot do it. Same way like VFS, you can move the custom settings what all available here in the system. And these are all app permissions, and coming down to the system permissions, these are all here. System permissions are general permissions where you have option to manage reports, manage dashboards, that type of options you see. There are a lot of options. These are all system options. So as I am a system administrator, I see all the options here because the current profile is the super administrator is the administrator, which is really greater than system administrator, because I have given extra permissions than system administrator to this person. Okay, so that's the reason I have enabled all the options. By seeing the name, you can clearly know the scenario. Create dashboard folders means you can create dashboard folder. This is the description. So before, if you want to try this, go to this profile users, click on system permissions. You can know each and every option. The naming, by seeing the naming conventions, you can easily identify this permission. So if you have any questions, you can let me know. Okay. So these are special permissions. For suppose if you don't want it, you can remove it. If I remove the send email option, you cannot send the email to a single contact or lead in the system. And for suppose if you are not giving access to the report builder, they cannot modify reports or manage reports in the system. And if I am not giving option to manage translations, they cannot do translations or localization in the system. They cannot transfer the languages, like they cannot create translation. They cannot use a translation workbench in the system. Templates, everything is there. Everything is clearly mentioned here. Okay, and coming to the profiles, so let's go to the other option, that is desktop client access. In this desktop client access, you can have an option to connect to the offline. Desktop offline is application, okay, where you can sync all the data into your system and travel to the different place. Okay, this is the offline access, because here is the multiple file settings of access denied. If I'm giving this option, they cannot access this offline application. And coming to the so these are all different settings. No updates. If I'm giving updates, you'll get some alerts to your offline mission saying that there's a new records in the Salesforce, so that you can sync one more time. You can sync both the ways. For suppose if you are traveling to some remote place, you can get some new records there, and you can use that new records. After coming home, you can sync that records to the system. There's a two-way sync. All the new records will be synced back. All the new records what you have created into internet connection will be synced, will go back to your Salesforce system. This is the desktop client access. Okay. Coming back to the profile overview, coming back to the profile overview, you can see there's one more option that is called login hours. Okay, login hours option is to put down some restrictions of login hours. For suppose your company is in US time zone, you can give the time zone, and you can only log in from US time zone morning 8 a.m. to evening 6 p.m. so that the users cannot log in from other times. For suppose in this time you will be in the office and you have access to the application. When you are out of this time, after 7 o'clock or 6:30, you don't have option to log into the application because that's blocked by this profile users. If I'm putting some login hours here, just go over here, click on edit. So you can change the options like anything. I can put I can put 0 hours for Sunday. For Monday I can put on from morning 8 to evening 6. Tuesday I can put from different time zones, different things I can clear. Okay. If I click on clear, it will reset all the settings. So that's what happened. Previously you were unable to log in because of the time zones, as I have modified that. And let's go back. And finally there is IP ranges. Some companies who are using like for confidential applications, confidential data, they put the login hours as restriction also. Means if we are allowing the people to log in from any system, they can steal some data. So you have an option to stop that by putting login hours, so that you can put the IP ranges from starting IP range to ending IP range, so that they can log in only from that IP addresses. Okay. So this is the IP range, starting IP address, ending IP address, and you can put some restriction for this. Okay. This is adding IP ranges, so that you means that this is a trusted IP range, so that all these profile users will be applied this particular IP range access. Okay. That's all the profile level settings. Okay. And so after this, I just want to talk about some. So how to use Apex. So generally, if you want to try some examples, you can try your own examples in your developer pre-organization. Simply by appending after Salesforce.com, because it is a VF page, so it's showing as visual.force.com. After Salesforce.com, if you put hash, Apex hash, your any tab name, any page name, you can try creating new thing. If you try that, it will show you error messages, because for suppose if you want to create a new page, what I will do is I just click on this. I just click on wrapper 4. This is the new page. If I click on enter, it will ask me. It will say that there is an error because it's not there. The page is not there. There is an option here in the bottom with a button click. There is a link here. If you click on this option, it will create the page for you. See, wrapper 5 is going to be created if you are clicking on this. Okay. If I click on this, it will create a page for me called wrapper 5, and it will show you congratulations message. Congratulations, this is a new page name, wrapper 5. And here you can code everything, whatever you want from here. Okay. And there are a lot of examples in the system. If you put simply Control S, it will save and it will refresh on the page. Just click on Control S. The value which I have entered here, the junk value it's stored, it's showing the message here. See the same message. Okay. So this is the view of pages. You can code like this, and I do have examples, lot of examples here. So generally, this is the front end, right? You are modifying the front end now. This is only the VF page is only helpful to modify the UI. It's like a page layout. It's advanced thing. You can modify anything with this UI options. And if you want to get some custom data, if you want some standard behavior, if you want some custom things, you can build custom controllers where you generally query the data from the database with SQL, and you're going to build some collections, and you can use the collections and you can show some data on the page. That's called custom controllers and VF pages. So if you want to link a page, for suppose, I'll go back to the previous page. This is the wrapper 2. This is having a custom controller called wrapper 2 only. This is the wrapper 2 page name. Okay. This is the page name, wrapper 2. And see, there is a controller, it's linked to wrapper 2. Means there is an Apex controller called wrapper 2. The data what you are showing here is not the standard way you are getting. You are getting a custom way with a checkbox. By clicking on this checkbox, if you click on delete, it will delete only these 2 records. So generally, if you want to delete a record, you will go to that record, you will click on delete option. What if you want to delete 4 records at one time? So you have to build a step of custom components that can be done with custom controllers. So I have a list of records with checkboxes. I will check 4 records here and I will click on delete. This is working component in the system. You can see the example. There's a lot of code here in the controller also. This is a controller class. You see this is like simply like a same Java class where you're querying some data from the contacts. These are all the contacts. If you want to delete the contacts, remove the contacts from the system, select what all the contacts what you want to delete, and you click on delete. That will automatically delete the data from the database. So this code helps you in that way. And there are a lot of examples in the system. I do explain some of the examples. Yeah, that's it. So let's meet again in the evening time. Okay. So I have another meeting starting very soon. Okay. So where do you access the pages? Okay. How to access the pages? Wrapper 2, right? I want to show you the page in the back end. Click on setup. So what I'm saying is you can even try access all the data from this organization. You have access to this. You click on develop, see Apex classes, triggers, pages, all these options are here. If you click on pages, I want to show you the wrapper 2. See, the wrapper 2 class is here. There are a lot of components where you can access this, where you can see this code, where you can download this code. By clicking on wrapper 2, so wrapper 5 is created just now. This is the wrapper 2 code, and this is the version settings and all this stuff. You can copy the code into your local machines as well. Okay, so you can understand this stuff. So generally means I can even explain you in the coming classes how to all the tags available with EF pages, how to use the Apex controllers, everything. Okay. Yeah. So I want to close the class now, and so I will try to connect you at evening 8 o'clock. Okay, today. So if I'm missing, just give me a simple reminder.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's